Welcome to the Leap, and this is take two. Sadly, for those that are joined and thinking this is weird, they look different today, and there are no parents in the screen. That is because the recording didn't work. There was a little technical hitch with my computer. So we are on take two, and you've got the happy threesome back to inform you all about the under 18 trip heading off to Kenya this July. So to start off with, this Zoom recording should be, if I stop dithering, it should be about 20 minutes. And the aim of it is to make you all feel confident and excited about the adventure which lies ahead. Throughout the next 20 minutes, I'm going to introduce us, run through the itinerary, flights, the UCAS diploma, jabs, and safety. Okay, so to start off with, who are we? Well, I am Millie. I'm one of the we are the Leap. Indeed, we are. And I am Millie. I set Leap up with my husband 20 years ago and are, running the sales and operations here at the Leap UK. On the other window, you have the lovely Zoe. Give us a wave. And Lizzie, give us a wave. Right. So these two gorgeous girls have put their hands up, and they are going to be leading this amazing under 18 expedition this summer. So Zoe has been working with us at the Leap for how many years now, Zoe? Is it about seven? Seven. I can't hear you. You've turned your camera down.
Oh, can you hear now?
Shout it.
Yes. So how
Seven.
many? 7 years she's been my ever faithful wing woman. Can't do anything without her. She, I know, has been in contact with you up until now, organizing your admin, and she's actually responsible for getting everybody on the plane. So do as she asks. She will be collecting all your data. Moving over to the lovely Lizzie. Hello, Lizzie. Um, Lizzie, we have managed to persuade to come and work in the Leap UK office because for the last 2 to 3 years, she has been leading Leap groups in Costa Rica and Kenya. She knows how to manage teenagers. She is a pro at it and much better than I would be in that role. I'm very good leading the midlifers, but the kids, they don't really want to hang out with me because I remind them too much of their mothers, and that's never a good thing to go away with your mother. Well, on this particular, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so these two girls are going to be in charge of getting all the students going to meet them at Heathrow and escort them to Kenya. And when you arrive in Mombasa, you're going to be met by our team leaders on the ground, who are Joseph and Juma, who have been working with us since COVID, who work under the umbrella of Oceans Alive, run by Des and Tilda Bowden, who set up and the big pioneers behind Oceans Alive and the amazing NGO that it is. So there's an amazing team over in Kenya who are going to be responsible for delivering the project, making sure it all happens, as Lizzie will just explain in 2 ticks. But Lizzie and Zoe are going to be their guides and their go-to if anything goes wrong. Is that about it, Lizzie? Would you say anything you want to add to that?
On the ground as well. Very important.
What was that?
Des and Tilda on the ground as well.
Yes, they are there, but on the day-to-day running, it's you two.
Yeah, so we'll be joined, as Millie says, by Joseph and Juma. Joseph and Juma are incredible. We've worked with them for trip after trip. They are the most awesome, fun, inspiring people. So we're really, really lucky to get to work with them for this trip. And then they're backed up by a whole team of people at Pope's, which is their base. And then we also have all of the Oceans Alive staff. So there's lots of different moving parts, but everyone is there to provide the best possible trip. Everyone's there. They know the Leap. They've worked with the Leap. They've done school trips in the past, so they know the blueprint. So it's a real formula for success, tried and tested, and they are amazing. Everyone will love them.
Brilliant. Right. So that is how it works, and the staffing. So moving on to the itinerary, and we're now ready to start booking the flights. The flights that we want to get are with Africa's favorite airline called Air Ethiopia. Now, some of you might think, oh, really? Can't we go with British Airways or Kenya Airways? And actually, no, it would be much better to go with Air Ethiopia. I always take my family to Kenya on Air Ethiopia. We use them all the time. The reason we use them is, yes, they are great, but they are so efficient with their time. You leave Heathrow overnight to Addis, got a couple of hours in Addis, then you hop on the next flight to take you straight to Mombasa. And the beauty of the timing is that it arrives in Mombasa mid-morning, so it's daylight, and we always want to make any long journey in daylight hours on the roads in Africa. So that is our preference. We will be sending you the details, if not in this email, then it's coming soon, with which flight we want you to get. Now, to get that flight, you could do it in one of two ways. You could go straight to Air Ethiopia and book it online. Easy. Or you could go to Trailfinders, who we always recommend them because you might pay probably £100 more to book it through Trailfinders than direct with Air Ethiopia. But the joy is, if you wanted to change the flight, if there's something goes wrong, or you just want to speak to somebody, you can speak to somebody. And that to me is worth the extra. So that is what I would do. There'll be details in the email about who to call, when to call, and, getting the flight. Now, there isn't a group booking because it doesn't work like that. They like it as an independent, everyone pays independently. So when you get onto the aeroplane, everybody will be sat, scattergunned around the plane. But Lizzie and Zoe, you can manage that, can't you, girls?
Like herding cats.
Absolutely. And when they get off at Addis, Zoe and Lizzie will make sure they're first off and then meet everybody on the ramp as they come off. So it will be easy. We've done this before. So that is our preference with the flights. When it comes to the visas, the visa is now no longer called a visa, it's called an ETA. And you can't do that until 3 months prior to departure. So we're not going to send you that information now. You're going to sit tight and we'll send it when you are due to do it. And you do it online. It comes within 24 hours and it costs about $35. And everybody will do that for each of your students. The itinerary then is going to be a fabulous mix of marine conservation and community development. And you've all read the itinerary, and I'm not going to go into, the specifics, just going to give you an overview, is that Oceans Alive are a dynamic, pioneering conservation NGO set up by Des and Tilda. They are now being replicated, and they give TED Talks all over the world, just showing how exemplary they are with the way they have approached marine conservation. And their approach is, yes, we can change the reef and build all these wonderful reef structures, but no change is sustainable without getting the local communities on board, which is where all our students come into being why they are so important. So we encourage the fishermen to not fish for 6 months of the year. But of course, they've got to survive. And so we now build them stoves so that they can cook, and the Geco stoves, permaculture, they kind of planting different kind of vegetables so they can sell different things at the markets to make their income. There's talks at the schools to the kids about conserving their environment and their corals and not damaging it and swimming over it and crushing it. So there is all that activity to be done. And the community are now so on board that the difference in the ocean is incredible. And you will see students a before beach and a coral and an after. And the difference is so dramatic, isn't it? I mean, it's just like you can't believe the difference. I've just been in Colombia looking at corals there. and they're trying to make a difference. But it was just like, why? There is no difference because we're all doing this work, and then there are speedboats and everybody else just trampling in it. It's just like, that is just not going to work. So it is very inspiring, and it's a great thing to see, isn't it, girls?
Incredible.
Definitely,
Incredible. It's like night and day. And what we'll do is we'll take you on one of your first days snorkeling in 2 different places. So you'll snorkel in the before, you'll get to actually swim around in the before and see what that's like. And then snorkel in the after, so you can directly compare the difference. And that will then make so much more sense to why you're doing, like everything Millie says, the permaculture, the school stuff, the educations. It'll all tie in nicely once you've actually seen the real life difference.
And my last thing just on the itinerary, which everyone says, oh, I always bang on about this, but what is really important to me is that through Joseph and Juma, who are local Africans, and all the people that work in the house where you're going to live, we'll discuss that in a minute, and all the staff, they are all local. They come from the local villages, and through them give you access to the local villages, to community life. So much so that they have now they embrace our volunteers. They love them coming. They see the benefit. There's mutual respect, and there's mutual respect of learning. How do you live? What do you value? Especially even the little kids. But it gives you that opportunity to go inside a community, and even, I know you're going to be invited to their church service on a Sunday, which, let me tell you, is possibly one of the highlights for many, isn't it? I mean, it is just an amazing spectacle. So yes, you're going to be doing all this project work, but you're going to be immersed in community life, which for me is the real privilege of doing this trip. And I know I always bang on about this, but for me, that is why I love curating these experiences for students to experience. So that is the kind of essence of the trip, and the flights and the visas. I just want to talk about where you're going to live and the safety aspect of it. So when you arrive in Mombasa, you're going to be transported an hour and a half, probably 2 hours, because the traffic in Mombasa can be terrible, up the coast. So you're going to be living in a place called Vipingo. It's the best place on the map, Kuruwitu, but Vipingo is easier to find on the map, which is just south of Kilifi, about half an hour. Now, it is a glorious place, and your home is going to be in an old hotel that we have kind of taken over, called Pope's, and that is your home from home. You're all going to be living in little beach, it's just raised above the beach, but on the beach, in kind of little rondavels, 2 to 3 to a bedroom. You've got a little swimming pool there, communal areas. So it's a proper home, and it's very safe. You've got patrol guards every night. You've got electric gates that are closed, and you've got a police control that is just out on the road all night every night. So
I'll just jump in and say that's not because it's needed. They don't have that there because there is a threat. It's just the done thing in Kenya. Anywhere you go, whether it's Nairobi, the coast, everyone has security. We don't have it because we think something might happen, just in case anyone hears that and thinks, oh my God.
Yeah, nice. Good point. So that is why it is there, but it is there. So everybody, when it comes to possessions and kind of leaving a wallet around or leaving your passport or your camera on your bed, it's going to be fine. Clearly, passports will be collected and put into a safe, but I'm just giving you the kind of the narrative that within that camp, life is safe. Outside the camp, if you go to restaurants and to the school, and you leave your camera, well, or your telephone, there might be opportunists. So, you've got to be mindful and careful. From a safety point of view, what happens if somebody is ill? Well, first port of call, there's a bit of medical, we've got medical facilities within the camp. So if you had, diarrhea, headaches, any of that little nicks and cuts, we would be able to deal with it. Joseph is wilderness medical trained, so he'd be able to deal with it there and then. Levering up from that, say you had bad dehydration and you got swollen glands or you were dehydrated, you would go to the Vipingo Clinic, which is 10 minutes away, which, let me tell you, is incredible. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can just be sorted. If the NHS only was so efficient, we would all be laughing. But isn't it? It is just incredible facility on your doorstep.
And it seems so out of place with the surrounding area. You drive through tiny little villages and suddenly there it is. But no, it's incredible. I would trust them with anything and everything that they can deal with. It's so handy.
Yeah. Level up from that, say someone broke their leg. What's going to happen? You would be stabilized at the Vipingo Clinic and then driven by Des or Tilda or one of the members of staff straight down to Mombasa, to the hospital there. That's where they would have a fracture clinic. If it is a level up from there and it was life-threatening, on the insurance, which we'll come to in a minute, I'm going to get you all to get the air ambulance insurance, Africa Air Ambulance, who are absolutely fantastic. And they fly into Vipingo Airstrip, which is next to the clinic, 10 minutes away. And you would be flown straight to Nairobi with one of the members of staff. And if Nairobi can't deal with it, then you'd be flown down to Cape Town. I've seen this in action with my own nephew. They are utterly brilliant. It only costs $10 and it's the best $10 that anybody can ever spend. So we will be sending you those details. Okay, so that is, snake bites. There's also half an hour away, about 20 minutes away, there's actually a clinic also that deals with snake bites. So we've done, there is a very thorough risk assessment that we do for all schools, for all gap year, for all under 18s. So everything is measured, and please give us a call anytime to discuss it in more detail. Okay, our aim is that everybody feels comfortable with the what ifs, because this is adventure travel. There is always an element of risk, but it's, all we can do is have the what if solutions in place. And we know that our guides and leaders and everybody on the ground are quick and fast decision makers, and that is all we can ask of each other. And we just hope, we just got to earn your trust. We want you to trust that is all in place. Okay, so moving on, you might want to pour yourself another glass of wine, cup of tea, whatever it is. Whew. Okay, moving on. We are now going to talk about the UCAS diploma, which we are really proud and excited about. We are the only company in the UK to have sorted this out. It is brand spanking new. It's taken us nearly a year to get sorted out, and we are so proud of it. It is a game changer, and it's very, very timely. It's timely because the universities, you might know, you might not know, depending on what stage you're at, the universities have changed their personal statement. This personal statement of old is just give me a kind of 2 A4 page of written work as to why you want to come to this university and do this course, and ChatGPT whips into action and out it all comes. So they are universities, kind of from talking to many a university, they are weary of lack of resilience of the new student coming through of today, and therefore the number of people that quit university in the first term, leaving them with lots of empty beds and costs, deficit. So in the personal statement of 2026, it asks 3 questions. The third question is, tell us about you. Why you? Why you? Why should we give you a place at this university? And in there, they want to see words like resilience, team player, commitment, dedication. Well, they want to see that, and they want to see how you can illustrate that. And that's why the leap and doing this under 18 has taken off like a little rocket. And it is gives it perfect kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Material to demonstrate that you've got that. So yes, it gives you 16 UCAS points, but actually, even if you didn't do the UCAS points and you just did the thing, it's good. It's really worthwhile. The UCAS points is an additional cost and commitment on top of just going onto the trip. It costs £395 per person, and we will enroll everybody direct on your behalf. We'll put the details in the admin letter coming. What that entails, what does it entail? It entails 5 sections, 5 courses. Well, it's 1 course, 5 modules. Thank you, girls. 5 modules, 3 before you go, 1 while you're there, and 1 on return. Lizzie is in charge of this. She has been briefed up. She knows all the resources that you need. And why we want everybody to do it is, yes, you're going to get the 16 UCAS points, but you're going to get so much more out of the trip because you're going to really research Oceans Alive, what their aims are, what the benefits are, so you really know your stuff before you land. Each module, the 3 before you go, should be 6 to 8 hours of work, all done online at your own pace. There is no one chasing you, but you've got to do the 3 before you go. Okay? Lizzie will deliver the 1 when you're there, and then the 1 when you return. That all then gets submitted. It gets then marked, and hopefully you will get your diploma. Okay? So really, it is pretty easy. It just needs you to do it. Yes,
You
Lizzie.
can have 6 months from once you return from your trip, you have 6 months to then finish it. So say for whatever reason you go back to school, you get distracted with mocks, lower sick, whatever it is, you have got time. It's not pressurized. There's no rush. That will take you, I guess, until the Christmas holiday. And also worth mentioning, the pass mark is 50%. So it's not like you have to be top grades working on really, really intense stuff. It's aimed for you to learn rather than from you to actually stress yourself out and work way too hard. So it's not meant to be a challenge. It's meant to be something that you can do in your free time alongside the rest of your studies.
Yeah, it's more of a research project, isn't it? So, I know we hope you do it. That would be fantastic. Jabs, quickly touch base on that. Well, actually, winding back the clock, let's look at your MyLeap area. So when you joined the Leap and signed on, this is Zoe's this is really helping Zoe now because she is in charge, well, backed up with Lizzie in collecting all the information. And the best way to do it is to go into your MyLeap. So when you booked on, you used a main email and you created your own password. Okay? Go on to the Leap, go up to the top right, log in, and you will go to MyLeap. You'll see who's in your team. We'll come back to that in a minute. But you'll see your to-do list. What we really need you to do is fill in your personal details. And I mean it when it comes to medical health, mental health, tell us everything. Do not hold back. Parents, if you're worried about something, give us that phone call, because if we suspect something, we'll be giving you a phone call. So we've dealt with many, many things. We're not afraid of anything, and we're very open people. So we can handle anything. What we can't handle, well, we can handle, but what we try and avoid is surprises. Okay? We don't like surprises. We like to be prepared. So please tell us everything that is needed to be known to make your experience, as special as it should be. We also need parents, because you're under 18, to sign the consent form, which is in the MyLeap area. Okay, so have a rummage around, get familiar with it. The kit list is in there, what to pack, but we will do a Zoom call much closer to the time where we'll go through the kit, because you need very, very little. You need a small bag because you're going on safari for 2 nights at the end, and there is a luggage limit on safari. Okay, so I don't want to see any big wheelie bags. You would have died if you'd seen the wheelie bags that the midlifers took to Colombia with me last week. It was like taking a school trunk with each person. That has got to stop. Little, pack and then divide everything by half and do the same again. You need very little clothes. Insurance, just touching on that, we will send you details of the insurance that we recommend, which is with Campbell Irvine. You might have your own family insurance. That's absolutely fine. Just make sure they cover manual labor and snorkeling, most people do, and going on a wildlife safari. It's pretty run of the mill. It's just the volunteering thing that they might go, ooh, no, that doesn't fall into our remit. In addition to that, we'll be sending you the details of the air rescue, the African air rescue. I think that is everything from me. Girls, have you got anything to add?
Jabs.
Some questions that people asked yesterday, so we can recap those and
Oh yes, you recap.
Recording. So yesterday a parent asked about jabs, which is a very good question. So again, this will all be in the admin that we send out either this afternoon or tomorrow. But we recommend any waterborne based jabs. So that will be typhoid and Hep A. And then we also recommend tetanus. We're not doctors, but this is just from years and years of trial and error. We know what people need, what countries recommend. But please don't take us as doctors' gospel. You can call your GP, they're really good at advising, or you can even pop into Boots, they can be really helpful as well. So go and do that when you are finding out about jabs. And then malaria stuff.
yes.
Would you like to explain?
Yes, so you will, when you go and see your travel clinic or your GP, they'll talk you through different malaria tablets. I mean, a key one that we're familiar with is Malarone, but your doctor will guide and advise. There is doxycycline, but it's an antibiotic, so some people don't like to take that, and you have to take it for a little bit before the program and a little bit after the program, but your doctor will guide and advise and find the right one for you.
Also worth mentioning, we have had so many people, of course, take them, but some people really don't agree with them. So we will monitor that closely. Of course, it will be as a parent, your decision along with your child, your daughter, your son. If it's not agreeing with you and you're getting headaches or you're feeling lightheaded, because it is such a short time period, we don't have time to be playing around with medications. So we have taken people off it before. Again, your decision. But it's worth mentioning that this area that they're going to is not known for malaria. Of course, sometimes it happens, but what's really important, whether you're on the pills or not, is prevention. So your mozzie spray, everyone needs to come out with lots of mozzie spray in the evening, long trousers, they'll have mosquito nets, things like that. But it's not a huge alarm bells, oh my God, malaria area. It's really not, and we will keep a very close eye on it. I think Millie's covered most of the questions that were asked yesterday.
Yeah.
Schools and ages. So there were a couple of questions about where everyone was coming from. A couple of parents were chatting to each other about what schools they were at. So what we will try and do is we will try and compile a list of everyone's age, of course, what schools, what areas they're from. So you guys can start getting to know who's going to be with you on your trip. And then also on your MyLeap profile, which we will keep talking about, it will have everyone's names and email addresses there. So if you recognize a name or you want to start reaching out and seeing if you have anything in common with people, you're more than welcome to. That's what that page is for. And then closer to the time, we will have a WhatsApp group. So we'll get you all in a WhatsApp group so you can all start chatting, talking about what bags we're taking, stuff like that. But that will be a little bit later down the line. I think we've covered.
Yeah, what about
Oh, that's for another go.
Okay. No, I think we've covered everything that was addressed yesterday. We've not missed anything out.
No. So the main thing now is book your flights. Okay, we're going to send that in from the admin. That's the priority. Book your flights and register for UCAS so that the first 3 modules can be done over the Easter holidays. Job done. That is our goal. And then after Easter, well, about a month before departure, we'll have another Zoom call with kids and parents to discuss the packing and everything else.
And I'll come chasing if you haven't done your personal details.
And Zoe will come chasing. So, so she's like a little terrier. Just okay. So, we are really excited, girls. You're excited. You're booking your flights, aren't you, tomorrow?
Looking forward to it.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Mozzie spray.
I know.
Yeah. So, onwards and upwards. We're here. Please give us a call at any stage, any question. We are, just ask away. We're here to help and make this happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, it's over and out. I'm going to say goodbye and click off.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. See you
Bye.
soon.